Dismissive avoidance is so rude. After 5 days, 6, 7, 2 weeks, they haven't responded to your message, left you completely unread, and then they come back as if nothing's happened. What's with that? Now, in this video, we're going to investigate how it is that they're able to do this so easily and so carelessly. In fact, potentially why it isn't careless at all, because they don't feel the burden of time passing like we do. Hey, I'm Steve from Emotional Wisdom. I'm an attachment style specialist. And if you need to know anything about those tricky dismissive avoidants, send me a message at the end of this video. You ever heard the phrase, time flies while you're having fun? That's because neuroscience has shown us that wherever our focus is where we perceive time moving. And quantum physics tells us that time is a construct of the rational mind. The anxious preoccupied has learned how to preempt and predict and anticipate virtually every scenario that could be presented to us. In other words, we're observing everything around us at the same time. So time more or less flows virtually the same everywhere and everything we're observing. You see, it's not the same for a dismissive avoidant. The DA learned at a young age there was no point in developing the skill of understanding their surroundings to prevent threats. No matter what they did, they still resulted in the same thing: abuse, neglect, and abandonment. So this skill remained undeveloped and burned into their nervous system, unhelpful. So why bother doing it from here on in? Instead, they learned how to involuntarily detach. It was more helpful for them to learn how to disappear into an imaginary world of creativity. It felt safe for them. And because it was acquired at such a young age, it was burned into their nervous system as a normal habit, day by day. And within that space, they're able to achieve a goal, an objective at the end of that process that they're following inside their imaginary world. And as you've probably worked out by now, because they're so singularly focused on that singular outcome, everything around them freezes, as opposed to us who are watching everything. They're only watching one thing. So this is why the burden of time doesn't appear to flow in the same way for them as it does for the anxious. So boy, that's frustrating. It's been 3 days, they haven't gotten back to me. They're so rude. For them, it's probably a blink. They haven't even registered time passing at all. So of course, when they do come back, it's, where have you been? I felt so lonely without you. And they're wondering what the hell we're talking about. So they've gone through life always being blamed for having ignored people, not gotten back to people, leaving people unread forever. And they haven't actually intended on doing that at all. It's a default to their nervous system where they can't perceive time moving. And it has been proven by neuroscience. So what is it about us that is unable to accept that someone else has a different neurology to us? Just because it's different, it must be unacceptable. So much so that amongst all the other things that they attract criticism for, they believe they must be broken too. Now, if we hold space for the fact that these poor people are being judged based on something they can't control, then maybe we should take a step back before we judge them at all. Now, a DA can learn to be multiple focused, but it requires an understanding and loving patient experience with a partner who's prepared to understand them and ask informed questions. Now, I know this information is not well known. It's not spread. In fact, the opposite is true. We tend to malign and criticize the DA through a lack of understanding. Now, I do understand if this isn't good enough for you, then you're welcome to leave your DA partner, but understand that being angry at them won't change them. It's up to us to decide, is this okay for us or not to try and force them to do something they're incapable of. Now, this is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to understanding how a DA is wired different to an anxious. If you want to know more, send me a message. Tell me about your experience, and maybe I can give you an informed idea of what your future might look like if we begin to understand the avoidant instead of criticizing out of ignorance.